All right, we're very excited here because we're talking Predator. We're going to do this for a while here. We're obsessed with this movie. Chris Mortensen. Stugatz did not have Chris Mortensen as a Predator guy, but Chris Mortensen is writing in telling us that he is fixated by what's happening here. We love Mort around here.
Mort texted me, I'm putting the Predator interview as a top 5 segment/subject in the show's recent history. And I said, Mort, you're a Predator guy? He says, oh, yeah. Seen it more times than you can count.
All right. all of us have. And so the director is with us now, John McTiernan. He made, in 4 years, he made 3 crazy movies. Die Hard, this one, and Hunt for Red October. And so we're just prying him for details here. The scene in the jungle, and thank you for rejoining us. The scene in the jungle. How dangerous were these Mexican jungles?
By the time we got to shoot, we had, the owners went through and cleaned out the snakes. Before that, yeah, it was dangerous.
All right. So how does one clean out the snakes from a Mexican jungle?
With sticks. It's the hard way. You drive all the snakes out. Mostly it's noise. They throw them away with noise. So you just send Sonny Landham in there and he scares them away? They run off in another direction when they see him rappelling with his underwear on his head down a building? No, Sonny would stay at the bar. Sorry. Were the other guys scared of Sonny Landham?
Of course.
No.
What?
Which is a good thing and a bad thing. They should have been, some of them.
Were you scared of Sonny Landham?
No. I should have been probably.
Okay, everyone should have been.
Wait, did you guys realize after the movie? That's like, did you realize how dangerous he was after the movie?
No, during the movie. They realized it during,
But
after.
I don't know how you can be around them and not be scared
It
of
is
them.
weird. Where the hell were you? What was going on there?
I listen to you guys, and you're a soundtrack, right? So I keep making up the movie that goes with it, and I swear it's like you're under mortar fire or something. There's like 8 of you, and you're somewhere in the jungle, and you're under mortar fire. So, like periodically, whoever's on the microphone gets exploded, and somebody else grabs it. And then talks about this interesting girl he met at Abu Ghraib or something.
At any point, did you think you were making a bad movie while you were filming Predator?
Every movie I've ever worked on, yes, there's like you live with that, of course.
Huh. How could that be? Predator was perfect. It doesn't even make any sense what you're saying. You sound.
Okay. Well, it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. It's a personal thing.
So when did you most think you were making a bad movie during Predator? When Jean-Claude Van Damme started trying to do kicks in a suit that was too big for him?
No, actually, the one time I really said, okay, now this is working, is when they finally let me shoot some of the action. They started with this, like, stuntman guy who was supposed to shoot all the gunfire and all the action stuff. And I finally convinced the studio, come on, can I shoot some of this stuff? And I did the thing of them actually coming into the palapa and stuff, and they liked it. And from then on, they'd let me shoot.
So you're responsible.
Not for everything. There's a lot of these.
No, you own that, man. The Stugatz just draw. I'm proud of you. I liked where you were going there. The movie success was all because of you.
Yeah, it was all me, of course.
That's right. Whose decision was it to film the arms for that long? The handshake. Whose decision was that? Whose call was that?
Yours.
Yeah, okay, it was mine.
We got you.
One scene to define Predator. Is it Arnold Schwarzenegger covered in mud? He can't see me, that whole deal. Is it the arm flex? Is it Bill Duke? And this scene was perfect with a razor blade and the cheap plastic razor. And
is it Predator taking his mask off?
Is it the mask? Is it the arm? Carl Weathers' arm still emptying a clip despite the Predator shooting
one
it
scene
off?
You can only pick one, John. Come on. We got to pin you down on some of this stuff. You can only pick one. The one scene you'd send out.
Wait. Yeah, I'm sure it's the Predator taking his mask off. That was, I mean, there were like 14 guys who were operating his with airplane controllers who were operating his face. We had a great time. That was, I like that.
The decision to have John McClane barefoot and walking on the glass.
No, hold on a second. Hold on. We're not going to Die Hard yet.
I want to get there too,
next
Mike.
time with Die Hard. Next time with Die Hard. But
what I'm saying? It's mortar fire.
No, yes, it can't be Die Hard. We'll get back to Die Hard at another time with him. But I have long said, this is my relationship with my father. I have long said this, that before the scene that the Predator takes his mask off, Arnold Schwarzenegger is crawling on his back through the mud, being covered in mud, and the infrared is not working. Clearly, with the Predator, and you have in a jungle while being chased by a nuclear capable extraterrestrial. For some reason, trying to avoid this thing, Arnold Schwarzenegger has to say out loud, even though it's just him and the Predator left. He says out loud, he can't see me. He says it out loud, and I am convinced you put that line in the movie for my father. Because it was obvious before then that he couldn't see it, but you put that line in because my father needed it. He couldn't tell what was happening there.
Well, he sent me a note. Your father did.
Thank you for doing that. Was anyone else considered for Arnold's role? Anyone?
No.
No?
No, of course not.
How about Carl Weathers?
No. Carl was there because Arnold was very competitive, and Arnold hadn't done a lot of acting, and Carl was wonderful at it. So we put Carl in because Arnold would compete with him, and he did. Instead of being off in the trailer like stars do, every time Carl was working, Arnold was was out there watching him. You watched him like a hawk through the whole front end of the movie because he was paying attention to how he acted. It was very interesting to watch. It was great.
Were you as disappointed as we were when in the remake, or I'm sorry, in the sequel, Danny Glover replaced Arnold?
Not your decision.
I shouldn't talk about that.
No, you should.
You know that. Come on.
Jamaicans? I mean, really.
I mean, I don't understand. The LA riots were hot at the time. What did they do? I don't understand. Anyway, I'm going to do one Die Hard question, if I may, if you will allow it. And it's.
Are we having him back on to discuss Die Hard at some point? Because I need like an hour.
At some point, but Bruce Willis was not the guy that. Bruce Willis was like your what choice? What number was he?
Yeah, he wasn't the first. And the other guys were all buttoned down and suave. So we had to rewrite everything because Bruce is, the working class hero, and so we rebuilt it to do all that.
Who was the first? Who was the first choice, though?
Who was the first choice? Can you tell us?
No.
All right. Well, let's do this. No, wait a minute.
Yeah, you'll start a feud 25 years too late.
All right. Let's do it this way. True or false? Sly Stallone was offered it before Bruce. True or false?
I think it's false.
True or false? Harrison Ford.
It's false. All of them are false.
True or false? Robert De Niro, Charles Bronson, Nick Nolte, Mel Gibson, Richard Gere, Don Johnson, Burt Reynolds, and the dude that played MacGyver.
Frank Sinatra.
No. Come on.
MacGyver was considered?
No one.
MacGyver was considered?
Just that.
Thank you, John. We appreciate the time. Thank you, sir.
All right. It was fun. Goodbye.
All right.